5 red heifers. All these elements are in place for what some Jews and Gentiles believe is the key to building the third Jewish temple. Some also believe it indicates the coming of the Messiah.
In a land where the holy and the worldly often collide, a recent event has sent shockwaves through religious communities worldwide. This is not just another chapter in the endless scroll of Middle Eastern history. What just happened in Israel has left believers and unbelievers alike reeling, questioning, and for some, reaffirming their faith. What exactly happened in Israel, and what does it mean for the future of faith? Was it a divine sign, a fulfillment of prophecy, or something else entirely? Join us as we uncover the truth behind what just happened in Israel that shocked religious people. The Israel's ancient beginning. Israel, known officially as the State of Israel, is a fascinating country in the heart of the Middle East. This small yet historically significant nation shares its borders with Lebanon to the north, Syria to the northeast, Jordan to the east, and Egypt to the southwest, while its western edge meets the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. The story of Israel is a rich variety of history and culture, beginning with a remarkable man named Abram. According to the Old Testament, when Abram was 75 years old, he received a divine call from God to leave his homeland. Trusting in this call, he set out for a new land called Canaan, bringing along his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot. Their journey was long and challenging, but they eventually reached the land of Canaan. Upon their arrival, they were told that this land was promised to them and their descendants. However, Canaan was not empty. It was already home to various tribes collectively known as the Canaanites. These tribes included the Hittites, Amorites, Hivites, Jebusites, Perizzites, and Girgashites, all frequently mentioned in the Old Testament. The Canaanites were a diverse and vibrant group, each with their own unique cultures, languages, and ways of life. They primarily engaged in agriculture and trade, thriving in the fertile land of Canaan. Their religious practices embraced the worship of many gods, reflecting a rich and colorful array of beliefs. Although the Bible does not specify when Abram first arrived in Canaan, it is widely accepted that this event occurred in the early 2nd millennium BCE. The interactions between Abram and the Canaanites were complex and varied, often marked by both cooperation and conflict. At times, the Canaanites were depicted as friendly and welcoming to Abram and his family, while in other instances, they were shown as hostile and unwelcoming. Despite these challenges, Abram and his family managed to establish themselves in Canaan. The land of Israel holds deep historical, cultural, and religious importance, especially for the 3 major Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Throughout the ages, this region has been a cradle of civilization, experiencing the rise and fall of numerous empires and cultures. From the ancient Israelites and Canaanites to the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persians, each civilization has left a lasting imprint on the land. Around 1000 BCE, the Israelite tribes united under King Saul during a time known as the United Monarchy. King David succeeded Saul and established Jerusalem as the capital, and King Solomon, David's son, built the first temple on the Temple Mount, creating a central place of worship that became a cornerstone of their culture and religion. This temple became a central hub for worship, where people gathered to perform sacrificial rituals and honor the covenant between God and the Jewish people. After King Solomon's reign, the kingdom split into 2 regions, the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. In 722 BCE, the Assyrians conquered the northern kingdom of Israel, leading to the exile of many of its residents. Later, in 586 BCE, the Babylonians overran the southern kingdom of Judah, destroying the first temple and exiling many Judahites to Babylon. When the Persian Empire defeated the Babylonians, King Cyrus the Great issued a decree allowing Jewish exiles to return to their homeland and rebuild their temple. This event marked the start of the Second Temple period, during which the Second Temple was constructed in Jerusalem. In the 1st century CE, Christianity began to emerge in the region, with Jesus of Nazareth, a central figure in Christianity, living and preaching there. However, in 70 CE, the Romans destroyed the Second Temple during the Jewish-Roman War. The rich history of ancient Israel, intertwined with religious texts and archaeological discoveries, has profoundly influenced the cultural, religious, and historical identity of the Jewish people, and has left a lasting impact on the world. The Palestine's transformation. In the 1920s and 1930s, many Jews fled to Palestine to escape the rising tide of Jew baiter and persecution in Europe. This wave of immigration, known as Aliyah, dramatically changed the population makeup of Palestine, causing growing tensions with the Arab residents. Driven by the goals of the Zionist movement, these Jewish immigrants bought land from Arab landowners and created farming communities called kibbutzim and moshavim. These settlements were designed to be self-sufficient and became crucial in building Jewish infrastructure and institutions in the area. However, as more and more Jews arrived and new settlements sprang up, the Arab population grew increasingly worried. Arab leaders and communities feared losing their land, political power, and national identity. They saw the influx of Jewish immigrants as a direct threat to their culture and their hopes for self-determination. These fears led to violent conflicts between Jewish and Arab communities, as each side struggled to protect their way of life and future. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, a towering figure in Jewish history, stood before a gathering in Tel Aviv and proclaimed the Israeli Declaration of Independence. This momentous occasion marked the culmination of decades of Zionist aspirations and struggles for Jewish self-determination. Ben-Gurion, with his characteristic fervor, evoked not only the contemporary political landscape, but also delved into the rich variety of Jewish history. He spoke of the ancestral ties that bound the Jewish people to the land of Palestine, weaving a narrative that stretched back millennia. His words resonated with the collective memory of a people dispersed across continents, yet united by a shared longing for a homeland. The Declaration itself was a carefully crafted document, imbued with the hopes and dreams of generations. It acknowledged the harrowing chapters of Jewish history, from centuries of persecution to the horrors of the Holocaust, underscoring the urgent need for a refuge where Jews could live without fear of persecution. Amidst the jubilation of independence, the fledgling state of Israel faced immediate challenges. Its declaration was met with hostility from neighboring Arab states, sparking the First Arab-Israeli War. Yet, against all odds, Israel emerged victorious, solidifying its place on the world stage. 76 years later, the legacy of that declaration reverberates through the corridors of power and the streets of Jerusalem. The partition of Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, a decision fraught with geopolitical complexities, continues to shape the region's dynamics, serving as both a point of contention and a catalyst for peace efforts. The eternal city of three faiths. Amidst the dry and rugged landscapes of the Middle East, the ancient city of Jerusalem emerges, its roots stretching back to the 4th millennium BCE. The city's early name, Rishalimum, can be found in Egyptian texts from the 19th century BCE, offering early glimpses into its storied past. Over the centuries, Jerusalem became a prized jewel, with its control shifting among various powers. The Canaanites, Jebusites, and Israelites each left their unique imprint on the city. However, it was King David who truly transformed Jerusalem around 1000 BCE. With remarkable determination and military strategy, he seized the city from the Jebusites and declared it the capital of the United Kingdom of Israel. Under the reign of King Solomon, Jerusalem entered a golden age. The cityscape was adorned with magnificent structures, most notably the First Temple, a stunning symbol of both spiritual and political power. Jerusalem thrived as the heartbeat of Jewish life, becoming a central place of worship and a powerful symbol of national identity. Jerusalem's significance extends beyond Judaism, deeply touching the hearts of Christianity and Islam as well. It is a city of profound religious importance, holding a special place in the beliefs and traditions of all three faiths. For Judaism, Jerusalem is the holiest city. It holds a deep historical and religious significance for the Jewish people. According to Jewish tradition, Jerusalem is the chosen place where God revealed his presence on earth. One of its most sacred landmarks is the Western Wall, also known as the Wailing Wall. This ancient wall is a surviving piece of the Jewish temple destroyed by the Romans. It serves as a powerful symbol where Jews come to pray, connecting deeply with God and their rich ancestral heritage. Furthermore, Jerusalem is home to the Temple Mount, the revered site where the first and second Jewish temples once stood. This area remains an important place of worship and pilgrimage for Jews around the world. Christianity also holds Jerusalem in high regard, seeing it as a city of immense importance. The city is intimately connected to the life, crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Many key events in Jesus' life, as detailed in the New Testament, occurred in Jerusalem, making it a vital part of Christian history and faith. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, located in Jerusalem's Old City, is a deeply revered place for Christians around the world. According to tradition, it is the site where Jesus was crucified, buried, and resurrected. This church draws millions of pilgrims each year, making it one of the most significant destinations for Christian worshippers. Another important landmark is the Via Dolorosa, a winding path through the Old City that many believe Jesus walked while carrying his cross. This route holds immense spiritual meaning for those retracing his steps. East of Jerusalem, the Mount of Olives stands as a notable site in Christianity. It is believed to be the place where Jesus ascended to heaven, adding to its religious significance. Jerusalem is also a city of great importance in Islam, ranking as the third holiest city after Mecca and Medina. It is closely associated with the Prophet Muhammad, who Muslims believe traveled from Mecca to Jerusalem during the night journey, known as Isra and Miraj. From the Al-Aqsa Mosque, situated on the Temple Mount, Muhammad is believed to have ascended to heaven. This mosque is highly revered, considered the third holiest site in Islam, and serves as a place of deep prayer and spiritual significance. The Temple Mount is also home to the iconic Dome of the Rock. This Islamic shrine, with its stunning golden dome, is a powerful symbol of Jerusalem. It holds significant architectural and religious value, making it a cherished landmark in the Islamic world. Jerusalem holds a unique and powerful significance for three major religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. This profound importance has not only shaped their religious practices, but has also influenced the history and politics of the entire region. For centuries, Jerusalem has been a hub of deep religious devotion, intense conflict, and dreams of control. The city's complex history, with its overlapping religious and historical claims, has often been a source of tension and disagreement among various religious and political groups. Throughout the ages, Jerusalem has seen the rise and fall of many empires and civilizations. From the ancient Israelites and Canaanites to the Romans, Byzantines, Arabs, Crusaders, Ottomans, and others, each group has left its mark on the city. Today, Jerusalem remains a city deeply divided by religious and political lines. The Old City, with its sacred sites and winding narrow streets, is a patchwork of different faiths living side by side in a very small area. The ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict has added another layer of complexity to Jerusalem's significance. Both Israelis and Palestinians claim Jerusalem as their capital and seek to assert their sovereignty over the city. The status of Jerusalem is still a hotly debated issue in peace talks and international diplomacy. This ancient city continues to be a focal point of both reverence and dispute, symbolizing a blend of rich history and ongoing strife. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. This event that just happened in Israel shocked religious people all over the world. In the ancient city of Jerusalem, where whispers of history echo through its narrow streets, a seismic event rattled the very foundations of faith. It began as an ordinary day, with devout pilgrims flocking to the sacred Western Wall to offer prayers and seek solace in the presence of the divine. But then, the unexpected unfolded. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden hue over the ancient stones, an unearthly glow enveloped the Western Wall. At first, it was dismissed as a trick of the light, a mere anomaly. But as the luminous aura intensified, spreading like wildfire along the weathered bricks, a hushed awe fell upon the gathered crowd. Rumors spread like wildfire through the city, drawing throngs of believers and unbelievers alike. Some whispered of divine intervention, while others speculated about scientific phenomena beyond mortal comprehension. As the night deepened, the glow reached its zenith, illuminating the night sky with an ethereal brilliance. Witnesses spoke of visions dancing within the light, ancient prophets, celestial beings, and symbols of wisdom long forgotten. The air crackled with a palpable sense of wonder and trepidation. Religious leaders and scholars debated fervently, seeking to decipher the meaning behind this otherworldly display. In the days that followed, pilgrims from every corner of the globe made the pilgrimage to Jerusalem, drawn by the promise of witnessing the miraculous event for themselves. Crowds swelled, prayers echoed against the ancient stones, and fervent believers sought solace amid uncertainty. Was it a sign of impending doom, a harbinger of salvation, or perhaps a call to awaken dormant faith? Let us have your opinions in the comment below. The quest for a new temple. Building a new temple in Israel is a big deal. It's not just about putting up a building. It's about dealing with a bunch of different problems, both practical and about what people believe. The place they've chosen for this temple, the Temple Mount, is super important historically and religiously. It's called Haram al-Sharif in Islam, and has two really important places for Muslims: the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Because of this, it's one of the most debated religious spots on the planet. They have to pick the perfect spot for the temple, thinking about things like how easy it is to get to, what it symbolizes, and what's around it. They want it to be a place where people feel connected to something bigger, something spiritual. But once they find the right spot, they still have to deal with a ton of paperwork. Building a temple means dealing with all sorts of rules and regulations, and it can take a long time to get through all the red tape. The team in charge of the project has to work closely with the local government to make sure they follow all the rules and get all the permissions they need to start building. Designing a new temple is a true art form, and it comes with its own unique set of challenges. A temple's architecture is more than just a building. It's a reflection of the cultural and religious beliefs of the community it serves. Balancing the old with the new is a delicate process that demands careful thought and collaboration with religious leaders and skilled architects. The design needs to embody the spirit of the faith while meeting its visitors' practical needs. It must provide enough space for rituals, meditation, and communal gatherings, while also featuring aesthetic elements that evoke awe and devotion. One of the biggest hurdles in building a temple is gathering the necessary funds. Temples are often funded by donations from the community, and raising enough money can be a formidable task. The project team has to engage in extensive fundraising efforts, reaching out to individuals, businesses, and charitable organizations to gain support. This requires clear and compelling communication to convey the importance and significance of the temple project, motivating potential donors to give generously. The construction phase is another significant challenge. Temples are often complex structures with detailed carvings, intricate masonry, and elaborate decorations. Each of these elements requires careful planning and skilled craftsmanship to bring the vision to life. Despite these challenges, the creation of a new temple is a deeply rewarding endeavor that results in a sacred space for worship and community gathering, enriching the spiritual life of the community for generations to come. Creating a beautiful temple requires a team of skilled craftsmen and artisans who can bring the intricate designs to life. Finding these experts is not always easy, and it requires careful selection and coordination by the project team. The team must ensure they hire contractors, craftsmen, and laborers who have the right skills and experience to fulfill the temple's vision. One of the challenges in building a temple today is the use of traditional construction techniques and materials. Many temples are built using age-old methods and specific materials that aren't commonly used in modern construction. This means that sourcing materials like particular types of stone or wood can be both time-consuming and complicated. Additionally, finding craftsmen who know how to work with these traditional materials can be quite difficult. Ensuring the temple stands strong for many years is another crucial aspect. Temples are meant to be lasting symbols of faith and culture, so they must be built to endure the test of time. This requires careful engineering to make sure the temple can withstand environmental factors such as earthquakes, extreme weather, and natural wear and tear. The project team collaborates closely with structural engineers and architects to incorporate strong engineering principles into the design. This teamwork ensures the temple's longevity and safety, allowing it to remain a cherished landmark for generations to come. The Sanhedrin has sparked significant interest with its ambitious projects to rebuild the temple. Among their efforts is the creation of farms and forests to mimic the ancient landscapes, as plants played a crucial role in temple rituals. However, there's ongoing debate about the Sanhedrin's authority and concerns about the environmental impact of these projects. Meanwhile, the Kohanim, the priestly class in Jerusalem, descended from Aaron, Moses' brother, are being trained in anticipation of the temple's reconstruction. Though they can't perform their traditional roles without the temple, the Kohanim remain highly respected within Jewish communities and participate in various religious ceremonies. One of the biggest challenges is producing a red heifer, whose ashes are vital for purification rituals. Red heifers are extinct, so the Sanhedrin is trying to breed a perfect red heifer using red Angus cattle. Several red heifers have already been brought to Israel and are being kept in a secret location until they are old enough for the rituals. The Sanhedrin plans to time the red heifer ceremony with major Jewish holidays, offering a direct view of where the temple once stood, adding a layer of historical and spiritual significance to the event. The world community plays a huge role in this complicated story. The situation in Jerusalem, especially the Temple Mount, has always caused a lot of arguments in international talks. Many decisions and deals, like the Oslo Accords, have tried to figure out what to do about Jerusalem and its holy places. If someone decides to build a new temple without asking anyone else, it could cause big problems in the region and between countries. We need to think about the bigger picture, like how Israel gets along with its neighbors, especially the Arab ones. If they go ahead with building the third temple, it could mess up efforts to make peace in the region and change who's friends with whom. People also have to think about the extremists who might want to use this temple thing for their reasons. Some groups might try to make things worse by using violence. A big problem now is that there's a lot of fighting in the Middle East. after Hamas attacked on October 7, 2023. There's been a lot of fighting, especially in Gaza. Israel has been attacking Gaza non-stop for 31 days, and over 10,000 people, according to Palestinian doctors, have been killed. Sadly, many of them are kids, and even hospitals haven't been safe from the fighting. The whole world, along with groups that help people in need, has strongly criticized Israel for continuously bombing the Gaza Strip and causing innocent people to die. People everywhere are demanding that the fighting stops, with protests happening in many countries in the Middle East and beyond. This surprising turn of events is affecting the possibility of an agreement with the Muslim community about rebuilding the Third Temple very deeply. The fighting hasn't just hurt a lot of people, but it's also made relationships between countries tense and made disagreements between different religious and ethnic groups worse. Because of all this, people don't trust each other and are very angry, which makes it hard to agree on things like building important religious buildings. To fix this problem, it's really important to understand why the fighting started and to try hard to make a peace agreement that lasts a long time. Rebuilding the Third Temple is going to need careful talks, building trust, and a real promise from everyone involved to make things better. The Third Temple Prophecy. Today, many Jewish people hold a strong belief in the historical and religious importance of building the Third Temple. This idea is deeply rooted in prophecies written in the Hebrew Bible over 2,000 years ago. These ancient predictions, especially those in the book of Daniel, have been the subject of many interpretations by scholars and religious groups. One of the most intriguing passages is Daniel verse 9, chapter 24 to 27, often referred to as the 70 weeks prophecy. This prophecy talks about a period of 70 weeks or 77s, and there are many different ideas about what this timeline means. Some people believe it includes a reference to the rebuilding of Jerusalem and the sanctuary, which they see as a hint towards the construction of the Third Temple. There is also a lot of discussion among Jews about the Anointed One mentioned in verse 26 of this prophecy. Some think this could be a reference to the Messiah, adding another layer of significance to these verses. Daniel verse 12, chapters 11 to 12, introduces the concept of the abomination of desolation and mentions a period of 1,290 days. Many interpretations connect these verses to the Temple Mount and the anticipated Third Temple. In this scenario, the term abomination is often linked to a deeply offensive act that defiles a sacred place, likely referring to the Temple Mount. Different religious groups and scholars have various interpretations of these prophecies, and discussions about them can be heated, often wrapped up in religious and political disputes, focused on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Despite these challenges, international mediators have been crucial in encouraging dialogue and negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. These talks often include sensitive topics like the Temple Mount and the possibility of building a third temple there. The United States has been a leading mediator in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, frequently using extensive shuttle diplomacy to bring both sides to the negotiating table. For instance, in the 1990s, the United States helped negotiate important agreements like the Oslo Accords, which laid the groundwork for addressing tough issues, including the future of religious sites like the Temple Mount. Additionally, neighboring countries such as Jordan and Egypt have played important roles in mediation efforts, contributing to the ongoing attempts to find common ground and peaceful solutions in the region. Jordan holds a deep historical and religious connection to the Temple Mount, acting as the guardian of Islamic holy sites in Jerusalem since the 1920s. The kingdom's special role was formalized in the 1994 Israel-Jordan Peace Treaty, which acknowledged Jordan's unique status concerning the Muslim holy shrines. Using this important role, Jordan takes part in talks and discussions to encourage dialogue and protect the Temple Mount's religious significance. King Abdullah II of Jordan often speaks out on the importance of maintaining the status quo and ensuring that all religious sites in Jerusalem are respected. Similarly, Egypt, with its influential history in the Arab world, uses its diplomatic power in the region to actively engage in mediation efforts. Egypt has played a crucial role in various peace processes, including the Camp David Accords and ongoing negotiations between Israel and Palestine. Egypt's strategic position and diplomatic relations with both the West and Arab nations enable it to act as a key mediator. Over the years, many different methods have been suggested and tried to address the challenges related to building the Third Temple. One intriguing idea is the concept of shared religious spaces. This idea is inspired by historical examples like Istanbul's Hagia Sophia, which has been both a Christian cathedral and a Muslim mosque at various times, and is now a museum open to all. Another example is the Cordoba Mosque Cathedral in Spain, which also serves as proof of shared religious heritage. Supporters of this approach propose that the third temple could be constructed to allow both Jewish and Muslim worship. This vision of a shared sacred space aims to promote coexistence and mutual respect within a single inclusive structure, potentially transforming a site of historical tension into one of peaceful cooperation. This idea aligns with broader interfaith initiatives seen around the world, where different religious communities come together to foster understanding and harmony. Interfaith dialogue and engagement are like bridges connecting different worlds, allowing for the exchange of ideas, beliefs, and experiences. When religious leaders, scholars, and communities from diverse backgrounds gather, they not only promote understanding, but also uncover the rich variety of human spirituality. These dialogues often reveal surprising connections between seemingly disparate faith traditions. For instance, did everyone know that both Judaism and Islam revere Jerusalem as a holy city? Exploring such shared sacred spaces can deepen mutual respect and foster a sense of shared heritage. In the context of the Israel-Palestine conflict, the stakes are especially high. Issues like the construction of the Third Temple carry profound religious significance for both Jews and Muslims. Yet, amidst the tensions, there are stories of individuals and communities striving for peace, often through grassroots initiatives that prioritize dialogue over discord. However, the path to reconciliation is not without its hurdles. Historical grievances, political complexities, and deeply ingrained mistrust all pose significant challenges. Yet, throughout history, there have been remarkable instances of adversaries coming together to forge peace agreements, demonstrating the power of dialogue and settlement. In the end, achieving reconciliation requires not only courage, but also creativity. It demands a willingness to listen, learn, and empathize with those whose beliefs may differ from our own. And while the road ahead may be long and difficult, the promise of a future built on mutual respect and understanding makes the journey worthwhile. What are your thoughts about what just happened in Israel that shocked religious people? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below.